want to start with just introducing each of yourselves and just kind of the origins of each of you guys into Dance Gavin Dance.
Sure. Yeah. I'm Andrew.
And I am Matt Mingus.
And we're Dance Gavin Dance.
The origin story for me was I was 16 years old. I started jamming with this guy that I kind of knew around town from shows who happened to be Will Swan. And we decided to form a group. And I was super young. The early stages of the band were all about just getting drunk at our practice studio and playing for our girlfriends. And we never really, at that time, had any idea that it was going to bloom into what it became for the last 21 years.
Yeah. My origin story with Dance Gavin Dance, I was actually a fan in high school. I went to an FYE at the mall, and I bought Downtown Battle Mountain 1 because the artwork was cool. I'd never even heard of the band, and I just thought the artwork was sick. I put it in, and Johnny Craig's just fucking killing it, and the whole band's killing it. I'm like, this band's insane. And I look them up, and I'm like, oh, they already kicked this guy out twice. This is crazy. So I go down this like rabbit hole of the band, become a huge fan, and then I had another band that was kind of my hometown band from Salt Lake called Idola, and linked up with Will. He'd heard our record, and he was starting a little mini label. He signed my band, and then within like, I don't know, a year of knowing him, the band had gone through several guitar players at that point, and Will asked me, he's like, hey, we've got this 10-year tour coming up. We're having all of our old singers on it. Do you want to play guitar and do backup vocals? And I was like, say less. Let's do it. And I've been with these guys over 11 years now since then, and was rhythm guitar player, lead guitar player, co-writer, and backup vocalist for most of that time, and then took over as lead vocals almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah, it's been a journey.
So awesome. So like in that vein, going from Idola to then backup vocals and guitar, how does it change your self-expression stepping into these different roles in the band, like from guitarist to vocalist?
It's definitely, I mean, the band has had such a history with different vocalists. It's obviously like it's kind of a trope that it's like a vocalist curse. So I'm like, all right, well, I've always viewed the band as bigger than any entity, like bigger than the singer, bigger than anybody. It's like, it's a collective of phenomenal musicians that push themselves to the brink every single time they make art. And I've been so grateful to be a part of it for over a decade that, like, for me, when they asked me to take on that role, it was a no-brainer. I was like, I didn't want to do this because of the stigma, but I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to double down with my vocal coach. Like, let's make some good stuff. Like, this is the core of the group. Let's keep making great art. Let's go out there and tour and like give the fans what they want and keep pushing ourselves. And so that transition was crazy. It was more of an evolution over time. It was a lot of my own mental health journey and my own physical health journey that led into that too. But I'm just super grateful to be here, man. Really.
Yeah. And you speak on that collective, even just in the nature of the band. But I think anyone looking in on the outside, the whole fan base of Dance Gavin Dance is a very strong collective. Mm-hmm. How do you feel like that has been through the transitions that you guys have seen?
It's been amazing, and it's definitely helped us keep our heads up during all the transition stuff that we've gone through. Like when Andrew stepped up to do vocals, we had in our minds like, okay, well, we'll probably lose some fans and things will dip for a little bit like they kind of did in the past, and then we'll build it. We're willing to do the work and what it takes to build it back up to what it was. But our fans, I don't know, they're just so excited and care about the band so much that it was a really smooth transition, and we're just really grateful. Our fans are very loyal. They're definitely unique. They're very active online, and we do, we do the best that we can to interact with our fans. Like, we have our app, and we're pretty savvy to knowing what songs they kind of want us to play. Obviously, we can't appease everyone because we have hundreds and hundreds of songs.
11 albums.
But we do our best, to see what people are talking about in the threads and stuff. So.
Yeah, to just piggyback off of that, like the first time I saw Dance was with Tillian, and they were like 2 albums deep. I saw them in Salt Lake for like 80 people. And I was like, oh, this band rips. Like, this band's still sick. They're still sick after all this time. But that was like the beginning of the come up from the Johnny to the Tillian era. And so to watch that and be part of it, and then to see our fans like just embrace what we're doing now still, just we could not thank them enough. I mean, we wouldn't be anything without them, for real.
Yeah. And how does that like collective embrace from the fan base, like how does that resonate with you as you guys continue to grow and push new boundaries, especially with a lot of new territories being discovered on Pantheon?
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, it's cool because this is, there's a couple reasons. So with John and I think this is the first time in the band's history where both vocalists have really, like John and I just get along so well. Not to say the past vocalists didn't get along with John, but like in a writing sense, like it's the first time that both parties have been like, hey, let's collaborate on every song. Like let's have a vision for the record. Like let's explore themes, and then let's do some throwbacks. Like let's pull some stuff from our back pocket. Like let's throw some really cool motifs in and be really intentional about the art that we want to make. And so I think with John and I, the friendship and then the artistic side, it's been such a cohesive environment to be creative in. And that's like, you know, for us, leading that into Pantheon is still trying to be mindful of what the fans want out of us, right? Still be mindful of like the history of the band, and then true to ourselves of what we want to explore moving forward. I'm personally really excited about our next record we just finished, DGD 12. I think that's a lot of us coming into our own, because we got some great feedback from Pantheon. They're like, this is really cool, but they saw us live after that on the Robot Tour, and I'm just like belting my ass off on these old Johnny songs, and they're like, yeah, could you do more of that on the next one? It's like, oh, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bunch more of that on DGD 12, and like we just keep wanting to pump more music out and just like explore all the territory. So
sick. And like especially bringing in DGD 12 into the picture now, like you guys are in a really unique position as a band where like you're fresh off Pantheon. You have Tree City Sessions coming out, which has a lot of deep cuts from really old tracks, and you have a new album in the works. I want to talk for a second specifically about the Tree City Sessions set list. Like as you went back into your back catalog, what made you choose the songs? And now stepping in as the new vocalist, like which one of those songs like resonates with you the most?
That's a good question. Do you want to take the first half?
Yeah, I mean there's a couple factors because we've done Tree Cities 1 and Tree Cities 2, so automatically that kind of ixnayed a lot of songs. Yeah. But we like listening, we kind of looked at like songs that we enjoy playing, and then we asked Andrew too, you know, like what do you feel comfortable, what do you feel like you're the strongest, you know, because we're really trying to be in tune with each other and not making other members of the band do things that they don't necessarily want to do, which is kind of new for us because in the past it hasn't always been like that. So I feel like that was a big factor. And one of the songs, as far as like what really resonates with me and I was really excited to play, probably Robot Part 3, I think is really cool, and we really nail it as a band. I think that's a really strong one, and I like my drum work a lot on that whole album, so to revisit that was cool for me.
Yeah, I think for me, just those three vocalists are so unique. They're all very unique. There's not, if you look at like the discography and the history, there's not a lot of them doing crossover with each other. It's most of the sets live were them doing their material, which is great. But then the band now has become this crazy monolith where it's the back catalog is such a part of its DNA. And I was a fan, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a new vocal coach. I'm gonna double down and like really try to drill and get granular with like what can I do with my voice? How high could I go to match Tillian? How much can I dial in my riffs and runs to like emulate Johnny and do some of this belted grit in the high like Barry tenor, and then like Kurt's just like crooning, like yelling in his first break, and it's just so emotional. I'm like, how can I channel that better? So I'm really doing my best to try to be a chameleon and explore all three of those registers and ranges in the best way that I can, in a way that's authentic to my voice too. So it's a challenge, but it's fun, and so I think that Tree City 3 was a really good exploration of that, of like, okay, here's Bloodsucker from Tillian, go try that one, and here's Robot 3 or Powder to the People, like closer on Happiness, where you're like, oh, I loved that song when I was growing up, so getting to sing it and like kind of pay homage to Kurt was just really cool.
Yeah. So now, do you feel like as you're going back and relearning any of these songs, are there lyrics that resonate with you even though you may not have wrote them, or is it now that you get to write lyrics, is that how you feel like you can really express yourself in another way?
Yeah, definitely. I think it gives me an opportunity to channel, like, kind of like what those guys, at least attempt to channel what those guys were going through when they wrote it, and try to find my space in that. Like, okay, what was the mental health struggle that they might have been going through when they wrote this, and how can I channel what I went through and try to embody that, which I've really enjoyed getting into those spaces. Some of them are crazy. Johnny, I don't know, I love him. He's the GOAT. He's the most naturally gifted singer I've ever seen in my entire life. He's incredible. Didn't always write his lyrics down. Didn't always make a lot of sense when he sang. That's okay. He sounded like an angel, but when you're trying to go through the lyrics and you're like, I don't know what this motherfucker is saying. So you're just kind of making it up, and then you get to write your own spin on it, right? Yeah. So that part was fun too. Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome, and it's a really cool like microcosm of what your fans must be experiencing all the time. Like growing up as a fan, listening to those songs, like they relate to it the same way, and now stepping into the recording side but still trying to relate to what those guys wrote in the beginning. That's just, it's such a cool flip, but it still comes from the same position that any of your fans are in listening to those songs as well.
Totally. Yeah.
One of my favorite lyrics off of the new album, All the Way Down, I was meant to suffocate in my art, but it feels like the medium
is falling apart. Yeah.
Can you explain that lyric?
Man, you did your homework, dude.
Hey.
I love that. I love when interviewers do their homework, man. That makes me very happy. That was a line that I wrote, like, as I was going through a lot with this. Like, you know, I've been doing this a long time. I've been a professional musician for 15 years. Like, it's how I'm able to take care of my daughter at home and my wife. And I've been so grateful and so fortunate, but taking on this role, it was very stressful, because I'm like, okay, no matter what I do, there's going to be a chunk of people that just hate my guts no matter what, because I'm not that guy for them, and that's okay. How can I still be me and like provide what I can for the band and like really push it forward? And so All the Way Down was like kind of wrestling with that. I was like, and seeing like the media landscape change too, and how social media has changed, and how the landscape for bands has changed so much since I was growing up, where it's just some communities just get really volatile, and you're like, okay, if this is all falling apart, you know, like that was where that lyric resonated for me. It's like I was meant to like live in my art and express it, but the strength of the medium itself is falling apart around me. Like, how do I wrestle with that? How do I persevere through that?
Yeah.
Right? That's what it meant to me. So.
Yeah. And you guys are a beautiful example of a band that has stayed strong in your medium. Like, I think when you look at you guys throughout the course of your history, you've had a very strong identity, and you can hear a Dance Gavin Dance song and know that is Dance Gavin Dance. Like, especially somebody being in the band since the beginning of it, how has that self-expression like fueled you and even just like helped your mental health? Like, is it the creative outlet of it? I'd love to just hear about that.
Yeah, the creative outlet, absolutely. And one big thing, you know, I'm a lucky guy that I get to write music with Will Swan, because we both kind of share the same philosophy that it's like, we could write something, we'll just write it to sound good. We're not really trying to fit a mold. And we did catch ourselves kind of going in that direction, kind of with like Jackpot Juicer, you know, and writing stuff purposely to sound good for someone else, and we caught it, and we realized that we weren't really like being our true artist selves and creating this material that we like to create and that we're proud of, and thus naturally bringing in other people to enjoy it. Because I feel like, and we talked about it, we did band therapy for like a solid year, and our therapist, she would say that because like we had this fear, you know, and that's where we kind of realized we were doing that, and she brought it up, and we had this fear of like, if we do write the stuff that we want to write, no one's really gonna like it. And she's like, that's absolute BS. Like, you write the stuff that you want to write and that you're proud of, and people tend to more appreciate that because it's just it's more special and meaningful. And so that's what we did for Pantheon, and I feel like the outcome for me, it really shows. I've always been a fan of all of our albums, of course, but when I listen to that, I don't know, it just stands out. I feel like everyone tried really hard, and it's nice that we don't limit ourselves to just one single genre, you know. We kind of think outside the box sometimes, and that helps express my stuff creatively, because my music background is so all over the place, you know, from jazz band and marching band, and I played in a reggae cover band for years, and you know, so but I get to take all of that and incorporate it into DGD, and it's really it's cool and it's fun. That's the other thing that like I think that we're really lucky to have is that we all really enjoy each other's company, and like we have a lot of fun still while we're doing it. It doesn't just feel like a job, and it felt like a job for a while, I'm not gonna lie. But this new like creation of Dance Gavin Dance, it's like it's just fun. I honestly I enjoy it a lot. We're all sober, and we just like there's not really drama, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like there were several years there for me too. I think we all kind of felt it. We're just like, yeah, it pays the bills. There's no other way to really pay the bills like this, and we're grateful for it. We're grateful for the fans, but we were just getting burnt out, and it just wasn't fun. Like I remember several tours where I'm just standing on stage, just kind of being like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like you've had those moments where you're like, okay, it's 4,000 people. I'm just like, I love them and I want to perform for them, but my headspace isn't in it. Like my mental health's just so shot that I'm like, I'd rather be anywhere but here. And you're like, that's not it. You have to sit and wrestle with that. And then you talk to Matt and you're like, you feel that way? And when he says yes, you're like, we can't. That's not how you can't run a band like that.
Yeah.
You can't live a life like that. It just feels inauthentic. So now, man, it's really fun to be in a band again. It's like the most fun I've ever had making music and touring. And it's just everyone's in good spirits all the time. We just hang out. We went and saw a movie. It was absolute dog shit, but we went and saw it. It was really good. We laughed about it after. It was just don't see Hokum. It's bad. And Adam Scott's great. That movie was I don't know. His agent might need to talk to. Yeah, it was. We laugh and we have a good time. It's been, and that's like the last couple of years have been the first time that's been the case for a long time. So.
Yeah. And you mentioned band therapy, but what would you guys credit to that swing in your mental health as a whole?
Ooh, I'll do a little bit, and I know you have some points on this. We're all sober, so after our bass player Tim passed away of a drug overdose, it was a wake up call for all of us, really, most of us, and just to really reprioritize what was important for us, and then prioritize mental health. All of us sought some form of therapy, whether that's with AA or a licensed therapist, talk therapist, psychiatrist. Like everyone kind of found their therapeutic and gravitated towards that, and really pushed themselves to become a better person, and show up for their families, show up for their friends, and show up for their bandmates. And that twist in mentality and intention just reset everything for us. I think that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew said it great. For me, it's like, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning of this interview, you know, when DGD started, we were getting drunk playing for our girlfriends in the practice studio when I was like 16, and that went on for me for 17 years. I struggled with drugs and alcohol, and and then finally I hit bottom so bad, and I was on the verge of being removed from the band, and that really gave me like a second shot at life, basically. And I realized, like, this isn't right. What I'm doing is not right. Like, and I don't want to lose this. Like, and so I ended up going to treatment, and not knowing if I still had my position in Dance Gavin Dance, but knowing that I just wanted to live and I needed to get myself right. And the drugs and alcohol came out of the equation. I still have other issues. I'm like a dual diagnosis guy. I take medication for other things, and it helps. So for me, having it taken away though, and being humbled by the fact that, like, I'm not that important. These guys can go on with dance.
He's very important.
Dance without me. Don't tell me that.
He's critical.
No, don't tell me that. But it was just good. It gave me like more gratitude for the band, and like a newfound appreciation that I never really had before. Or maybe I did have when I was younger, but I had lost it. And so it was good. Like, I'm so grateful for these guys, accepting me back into the band, and like being my biggest cheerleaders of my sobriety and whatnot, and support. And we've all just been with each other through so much stuff, and that's kind of what triggered on the therapy. Was we were like, man, there's a lot of skeletons in our closets. resentments built up over the years, and like if we want to continue as a band, we need to like figure this shit out, you know.
Yeah, I'll make one last side point on that too. I think like the strength and resilience that we have now in supporting each other also keeps us accountable to each other, and it keeps us level-headed, right? Because you can get lost in the sauce, especially if you're on the internet. I mean, you'll see comments like, these guys were better when they were on drugs. And like, that's the meanest shit I've ever seen. Go fuck yourself. I don't want you as a fan. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's like, if we weren't as tight-knit of a unit and supportive of each other, that stuff would just chip away at you over time. And so for us, we're just like arms linked, ready to fight whatever comes. Like, we're like in it to win it, you know. It's cool.
So now with this reinvigoration that you guys have had recently, like, what do you feel like your mission is as a band?
To make the best music we possibly can and push our abilities to the absolute limit. That's a goal I have.
Yeah, I like that goal. I like to be able to go out there and play and have fans and people come out to our shows and sort of, I'm not going to dive into anything, but as most people know, there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world right now. No matter what side you're on, whatever, it's all like pretty crazy. So to be able to come to a show, take your mind off of all that noise on the outside and focus on the noise in front of you on stage, for me, and like supply people with a nice smile on their face, like I like that. We've invested a lot in the last few years of like upgrading our live sound, upgrading our production, because that's such a focus for us, of like providing that escape for people. I've always viewed art as a snapshot of time, no matter what medium or what time period it's in. It's like it's a very chaotic, unprecedented time in the world, and Dance Gavin Dance is like our job is to represent that as best we can. And to provide that environment people can go and escape from it when they need to, and just like put on the best damn show we can. So I do always look forward to that. It's always great.
I love that. So to a fan on the other side of the camera watching this interview, if they were struggling with sobriety or just maybe finding purpose again, what would you say to them?
Oh man, my biggest thing is just ask for help. Just ask for help. I struggled with it for so long, knowing what I was doing was wrong, and I couldn't drop my ego and just reach out and ask somebody to help me. And even now, recently I'm back on medication for depression and anxiety. And even then I was like, oh man, I don't want to go back on medicine. But it's like, but there's nothing wrong with that. Why not do something that's going to make me feel better? And I know it's okay. My doctor says it's okay. Thousands of other people are on it, and it's just temporary in some cases, for me. And so I did it, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. I mean, I feel better. I feel like myself again. I just wasn't feeling like myself, and nothing's wrong with that, So just, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help.
I think that's great. That's a great answer. I would say love and forgiveness in their totality are probably some of the best medicine that you can involve yourself in. Self-love, self-forgiveness, compassion, finding people in your corner, and really, like Matt said, to ask for help and to lean into it, and be open to, be receptive to what the universe is throwing at you to guide your life back to that stability that you're after. Life is chaotic and hard. We're all doing our best out here. If we have more compassion for each other, we can work together so that everybody can succeed and everybody can be happy and everybody can feel that love. So I always pray for everyone that they're able to get on that path and stay on it. So.
And just in closing, what can we expect from you guys? Where can we see you guys in the next year?
Some badass music. You can catch us on tour right now. If you see this while we're on tour, we got 35 more shows left. With The Fall of Troy, Horse the Band, Wolf and Bear, and Novelists. We're going to be in the Europe, UK show starting in Amsterdam September 1st. We're going to be doing a couple weeks over there. And we're doing another international tour we haven't announced yet later this year. And then next year we'll be touring up our new album, DGD12.
Yeah. And then we got Tree City 3 coming out. And then keep your eyes and ears peeled for information on the new album.
So sick. That was awesome.
Thanks for having us, man.
So much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. We tried to do right this time.